Let's take a look at auto reframing on the clip level and also the sequence level. Starting out with the clip level first. Let me pick a good clip, such as this one. Could just drag it into the new sequence. This is the full clip. And the camera person did a great job at keeping the skateboard in the center of action. What if you wanted this person to be in the center of action? The way you would do it without auto reframing, you would just scale up the clip and then you would keyframe, let's say starting from here, position, moving forward, dragging this person a little over to keep them in the center, and continue doing that. Eventually, run out of space here. That's how you keep this person in the center of action manually. I'm going to throw this clip away. Let me drag that clip back on. This is going to Instagram, and we want this to all happen automatically, or it's going to be vertical footage. The key would be to have more video in order to keep the person in the center of action. I'm going to resize the sequence by going under Sequence Settings, selecting Custom. I'm going to do a 1080 square. You want to do vertical, then type in 1080 by 1920. Clicking on OK. Here's the Instagram square. And the person still isn't the center of action. Selecting the clip, going under Effects, type in Auto, and under Transform, drag and drop Auto Reframe. And play your clip. Here the person was kept as the center of interest within this clip. You didn't get more of that person happening over here. Let me turn on Auto Generate Path. Is because that's the edge of the clip. Let me create an Instagram square out of this. And this will be done using auto reframing on the sequence level. I'll lose my transitions, but I'll reestablish those transitions in the new sequence. Right click, auto reframe sequence, selecting my target aspect ratio 1:1. If you had some other format you had to go to, 16:9 is a ratio. That's the same as writing 1920 by 1080 to get the ratio, which would be 16:9. If you don't know the ratio, you could type in the full width and height to get the ratio. Motion tracking is the footage normal speed or a combination of normal, maybe a little fast and a little slow. Is it slow-mo footage or is it fast-paced footage? If you have a mix of footage, use default. Don't nest the clips. And if you don't nest the clips, your current motion adjustments will get replaced. That means if you had repositioned your clips around, all that will be gone. So it's a good idea to either nest them first within the sequence or don't select this option. If you choose to nest them through auto reframe, your positioning of elements will stick, but you'll lose your transitions, such as the cross dissolves, and you would have to reestablish those cross dissolves, but everything else will be there. Clicking on Create, and here's the sequence, and there's my live text. The auto reframing has been placed upon the sequence clips. Since my text didn't have anything next to it, the cross dissolve stuck. I would have to reestablish cross dissolves here by just adding them back. You can readjust this text because right now it's just a regular sequence, so anything you want to do to it, you would just drag things around. You can recut the sequence now. There's nothing special about this sequence other than auto reframing has been placed on these clips, and these clips have been changed into nested elements to preserve any position transformations that you might have used during editing. You can readjust the motion of a particular clip. This is normal speed. Here it's a little slow-mo, and maybe you want to reanalyze it for slow motion, or leave it at default. If you don't like the framing of some of the clips, select this clip and I'll turn off auto reframing for a second. There isn't much vertical room to play with. There is a lot of horizontal room to play with. With auto reframe on, maybe you want it not to be such a medium shot, but a tighter shot. Go under auto reframe and just scale up the auto reframing. And then use the reframe offset on the y-axis to push down everything. If you want this person over here off screen on the left to be more in focus than this smiley person on the right, if I click Overwrite Generated Path, these two numbers are taken into consideration and applied to everything, which will become annoying. So I'm going to undo that. And if I can accept the path for what it is, I'm going under Effects and looking for Transform. And I'm applying a transform to this clip. And that's on top of the auto reframe that's already been done. For my position, I can now move my object up and down a little better and left and right better without affecting the auto reframe that exists. So now, let's say around here, I want to establish my talent a little better. Clicking on Position, going a few frames later, and moving along the x-axis to get that talent into the shot and reframing them. Because we already see that there's two people there, I think this is the more important moment before we zip away to the skateboarding of earlier that day. Start out with auto reframing to just reformat it. Select the correct motion of the clip, and you could always reanalyze. If you don't apply any frame offsets and frame scaling, then clicking on Overwrite Generated Path will let you edit the current path. Another way to edit position is to apply a transform effect after the auto reframe effect on top of this clip, and then using its position, scale, skewing, rotation, whatever you need to readjust the clip and recenter the action within the new format.